back then, that I needed a comfortable life. I needed to live life just the way other people were living life, even though I had never been to the city, not seen luxurious life, but I always believed there was more to life than the way I was living. So I had this idea that
Welcome to another episode of The Michael Maloney Show, where we take you on a journey around the world, exploring the stories of successful individuals and learning from their achievements and struggles. Join us as we delve into the why and how behind their accomplishments and discover how to live a more fulfilling life. The way I like to do my podcast is just, press start and just go. A lot of the reason why I do this is because I get the chance to interview some great people, right? And people that do all sorts of different things. And it's just a great way for me and along with my listeners to meet you. And so what I've found is, like, if I wait, like, let's say I just open, like, we see each other, we start talking. How's your day going? Like earlier I asked, what time is it where you're at? Which, Thaniel, where are you from again?
I'm from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Awesome. And what time is it there right now?
It's 4:40 p.m.
4:40 p.m. Okay. So it's 9:44 a.m. Where I'm at. So, almost opposite ends of the day, right? But,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's people miss out on those beginning conversations if I don't start this way. So there's a lot of benefit to just starting the way we are today, just kind of shooting from the hip. But, Thaniel, we've been trying to get on. I've been trying to get you on a recording for quite some time, and it's finally worked out. I'm grateful to have you here. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well. My name is Thaniel. My name is Thaniel. I'm the only child of my father. Well, so far so good. I'm a student of University of Ilorin, studying history and international studies. Well, some time ago, I think precisely 2012, I lost my dad, and since then I've
Mm.
been trying to fend for myself. By then I was still in primary school, what we know as primary school. I don't know what you guys know it there as. I think that is it grade, junior grade or something like that.
Yeah, so
Um,
like we call it like middle school and then high school. So like middle school is like um, third or like second, first grade through eighth grade. Are you familiar with, like, gosh, I don't even know. I think when we're in eighth grade, we're like just getting our permit to drive. So we're like 14 or 15 in eighth grade. How old, what class or what grade are you in when you're 13 or 14 in Nigeria?
Basically, that is primary school. Primary.
So
Then I
that is
was
primary school. Sure. So it's, gotcha.
yeah. So I lost my dad when I was in primary school. So from there, I started fending for myself. And I know I had this idea um, back then, that I needed a comfortable life. I needed to live life just the way other people were living life, even though I had never been to the city, not seen luxurious life, but I always believed there was more to life than the way I was living. So I had this
And
idea that
and what let me intervene there for a secon. What do you mean? There was, and I love that, by the way, that you saw that there was room or for a better life, or that you were like, gosh, I am gonna find a way. Like, I know there's more. I'm gonna go for it. But where were you at, or like where, like what improvements were you looking for? Like, where did you know you could have a better life?
okay, so basically, I didn't, as of then, I didn't have any idea of self development. I didn't have any idea of better life. I didn't have idea of what better life was. I only heard people talk about people living in cities, driving cars. Where I was living is more than a slum. In fact, there was, as of then, there was no school in that area or within the neighboring communities. And I've never seen a graduate in my life. but I've heard my uncle talk about people living in cities, people living life, luxurious life, people living life on their term, people driving cars. And I always had it in my brain that, oh, I want to drive a car, I want to own houses. And then
Yeah,
if you saw my post today, I actually made a post about that, right? Talking about
I haven't yet.
yeah. So I made a post about that today, talking about just the life I wanted to live was a life outside my immediate environment. It was an imaginary world. You get, it was an imaginary life. So basically, I've been living an imaginary life from when I was 12 years old till date. And my imaginary life is beginning to, manifest. Currently, as I
Wow.
speak, yeah. Currently, as
So
I
almost
speak,
like a vision, like you've pretty much had a vision your whole life, like where like you like your uncle kind of told you about the city and driving and like what are the roads like? Are the roads paved cement um where you live or what are they like?
sorry, come again. I didn't get your question, please.
So like where so when you say like I look forward to living in the city and like where we can drive cars and that kind of stuff, it just leads me to think that maybe where you live, maybe there aren't a lot of cars and there aren't a lot of roads and that kind of stuff. Or what is it like around where you live? Or am I wrong for thinking that?
Basically, there was no car at all. No car at all. Then, that was around 2012. 2012.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's like 10 years to 15 years down the road now. So
sure.
there's a lot of improvement, there's a lot of some development, there is primary school, even though there is no high school there yet.
That's good though that it's improving and that standards, as you would say, are improving in that area. That's awesome. But so where are you at on your pursuit to what you were imagining? Like you said, your things are coming. They're starting to manifest. Like obviously you were at one point in the point where you're like, gosh, I really want to work towards a better living environment. Where are you at in that pursuit?
All right, so currently, as I said earlier, I'm a student of University of Ilorin.
Yep,
Yeah, so which means I'm
that's
in the
awesome. By
college.
the way.
Yeah, I'm in the college, my third year precisely. And it will interest you to know that in my whole family, I'm the first person to see the four walls of the college, right? Um,
That's
and
awesome.
also, and also, um, I am an online entrepreneur, right? I'm an online entrepreneur. I am currently the founder and president of Thaniel Speaks International, an online
Hmm.
platform that helps build leadership capacity for young people, as well
What's
as
it called?
Thaniel Speaks International.
Thaniel Speaks International. Nice. I like that.
Yeah, so it helps build leadership and public speaking skills for young people. Okay, I
Hmm.
also have it as a club registered with the school authority in my school. Um, so in the school, it's actually aimed at training college students to have better leadership skill through effective communication. And
Wow.
also recently, just a few weeks ago, I launched a global network called the Young and Powerful Leadership Network.
So okay, so I saw that you did that. Let's hold off on that for 1 second. I want to, and because we'll get to that, but before we get there, I want to hear more about what led you to want to be so impactful and want to help other people's in the specific niche of public speaking and leadership.
All right, so one of the reasons or one of my whys for trying to help people is because of the background I came from. I
Hmm.
never I never got anybody to tell me this is what you need to do, this is how you need to live your life, these are the things you need to know.
Wow.
So
So you want to give back. You want to
yeah,
help people do what you've done, but not have to learn it themselves.
yeah. So there was a knowledge gap. there was a knowledge gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. So that is what I want to actually close. I want to be a bridge between those who actually lack, who want to but lack the information. So I want to be that supplier that will actually bring
Wow.
this information.
Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to share something I'm passionate about with you. If you're someone who is constantly striving for personal growth and loves surrounding yourself with other motivated individuals, you're going to want to hear about this. Check out growthgroupinc.com. This is an exclusive community made up of high achievers and dynamic entrepreneurs just like you. It's a space where like-minded individuals come together, collaborate, and support each other on their own journey to success. Growth Group is more than just a community, it's a collective mindset, a commitment to getting better every single day. We believe in the power of connection, collaboration, and constant growth, and we're confident that being part of this community will give you an unparalleled advantage on your path to success. So take a moment, visit growthgroupincorporated.com, and join us as we elevate our lives together. Trust me, this is one investment in your future you will not regret. Now, let's get back to our conversation. I can relate so well. I'm amazed because I learned that through the hardship of growing a business and being super successful, but then finding out that I wasn't fulfilled, and I had everything I thought that would make me happy, but I wasn't happy, right? And so through that epiphany, it's led me to think, wow, I know there's so many other people out there that have a lot going on, that have a lot, they're successful by society's terms, but they're not happy. And so I too want to help people figure out like how to, from the beginning, prevent themselves from going down that rabbit hole, or helping people who are already potentially in that rabbit hole get out, right? And it's all because I realized it did great distress to me, and it gave me gray hair, and I have this nice shiny head now because of it. Um, but it's awesome to meet somebody, and there's a lot of people I would say that have the same desire, to give back and teach people, but there's not a lot. I would argue there's a lot of coaches and people who are doing summits and events and starting communities that are in it for more about the money and not the impact. And once again, I'm not one to try to focus on the negative. I'm just trying to point out that it's unique to find someone genuine like yourself. And truly, I'm kind of tooting my own horn here, so to speak, but I take pride in being in it for the right reasons. Like I realize that, money, like I need to be able to make money to continue my pursuit, but that's not my focus. I focus on impact, and then I trust that money will follow, right? It's not about the money first. It's the impact first. Just like Tony Robbins says, money magnifies people. It doesn't, so if you're a great person and you make money, it's going to allow you to make more impact, and impact, let your message go farther. So there's kind of that misconception about money, but I just wanted to highlight that, just from what you've said there, I can see that you're a deep and loving and just a great person. And I already respect the hell out of you for that. So I love to hear that the reason why you're doing it is to help people and to give back and to help people learn the things that you wish you would have known back when you started your pursuit to where you're at. And that's super noble. So that's what kind of got you going. That's the main force, the drive that pushes you to do it. Now tell us about YAP, the young. Gosh, I can't remember what it stands for, but tell us about the event that you held just a couple weeks ago.
All right, so it was one of my goals. I have this big dream. I don't know. I have this big dream of impacting around 360 million people in 180 countries.
Hell yeah, dude! High five! I love it. Hey, I'm right there with you. Hey, and
Yeah.
you know why I'm so excited about this, and just to prove that I mean everything I just got done saying, like about 3 minutes ago, I was looking at you, hearing you talk, and I'm like, I'm gonna have this guy at one of my events someday. You know, like he's going to be on stage with me. Like I can just see your story and the way you hold yourself and the way you talk and, you know, your goals and the courage to go after just freaking massive goals. Like, dude, most people are afraid to, you know, go into the gym and lift weights. You're out here just trying to take over the world, man. And I respect that. But anyways, you can keep going. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but I'm
No, no, no.
excited.
It's fine. It's fine. So I have this goal of reaching, impacting 360 million people. That is a circle in
Love it.
180 countries. That is half of the circle, right? Now,
Heck yeah.
and I ask myself, how am I going to do this? How possible is this? Now, I started with having to organize one event. I started with one event at a time, which was discovering the Unstoppable Life event. Now, from discovering the Unstoppable Life event, I now added,
Discover yourself event.
yeah, discovering the Unstoppable Life. Discovering the,
Discover the unstoppable life. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's actually an annual event that I host every beginning of the year to help equip people go through the year successfully, set and achieve their goals. So that is,
So I guess I don't know if I've seen that one. I truly thought that what was the one that you just held?
Young and Powerful Summit. Yeah, the Young and
Young and
Powerful
Powerful Summit. Yeah. God, I'll have to keep my eyes out for the build a better. God, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of it already. It was so good.
um, Discovering the Unstoppable Life.
Discover the unstoppable life. Gosh, I like that. Daniel, make sure you let me know before you do that.
Yeah,
And by the
yeah,
way,
it's
we'll make
coming.
sure to post your information in the credits. So for anybody who's listening to this that's interested in Thaniel's events, please make sure you reach out to him, whether you send him a message or just follow his page, because he'll definitely be sending updates about his events, obviously. But yeah, send him a message and let him know that you liked his interview. But we'll get all that at the end.
All right. So, so from discovering the Unstoppable Life event, I discovered I needed to stretch more. I needed to stretch more. So what I did was at the beginning of the year, basically people set their New Year resolution in January, but I do my own differently. I do mine in October. October is my birth month, right? So I do
Ooh,
my own beginning of the year is October.
I like
So
it.
yeah, so I started trying to make new plans on how to hit my target of 360 million people before I leave this world. And that was what brought the idea of the Young and Powerful Summit. Now, if you come from the third world country like Nigeria, you discover we have all the mineral resources, we have all the human resources, we have everything. God has blessed countries, third world countries, with everything except leadership. Now, I now
Except for
embark.
what?
I say God has blessed all the most of the third world countries with everything except leadership.
Leadership. With
Yeah,
accept leadership.
yeah. So I wanted to train the young people, enhance the young people, give the young people the tools they need, you know, to become to change the narrative. Okay, and that
Mm.
is why. And when I
See,
knew,
I was just going to say, Daniel, I think that's an important point. Change the narrative because in my head, I was thinking to myself, okay, so your goal is to help the youth and potentially probably the youth because that's a great spot to start, right? Leadership, like help them, teach them, have conventions, and like do like goal setting, right? But beyond that, it's really like you said, changing the narrative. It's teaching people to speak to themselves differently or
yeah,
look at the day in a different way, right? I like what you said there about changing the narrative.
exactly. So, and when I talk about leadership, um, a book I'm working on currently, I actually let people know that leadership is not about position, leadership is not about title. Leadership is your ability to influence people, to influence situations, to
Mm.
influence results. to achieve a set goal.
Yep.
You get, yeah. So, and this leadership, I'm talking about people in business, I'm talking about people in politics, I'm talking about people in entertainment, I'm talking about people in sports. You get. So the theme for the summit was becoming an authority in your field. So if you are in entertainment field, are you an authority there as a young person? If you are in the sporting industry, are you an authority there? Okay, if you are in the
Mm.
political arena, are you an authority in politics?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the focus of the event, to help raise young people who becomes authority. Change the narrative from what it used to be to what it ought to be.
Yeah. I love it. And like you said, if there's not leadership, people just aren't being taught by their parents or their teachers or whatever to think, deeper and to go for higher, set higher goals and work towards that better self. If you look around and all you see are the people that are just like you, and you never imagine a better life, um, whether whether wherever it might be, you're just always going to stay the same, but if you're looking towards somebody who's farther ahead of you, or if you're modeling a different type of society or whatever it is that is a better life, or if you keep that in your mind, you can at least go for something. It's like the analogy of like shooting an arrow. Like if you don't shoot at a target, it's not going to hit anything, right? If you're just living your life and you're just aimlessly going about it, you're not going to reach your goals or happiness. You might have spurts. That's the thing about society, is it teaches us to have that like short term, great, go get ice cream, go to the movie, or go on vacation for a week and forget about your real life, or just like eat a bunch of junk food. It's like all these short, quick spurts. Whereas you can actually, if you actually put devoted and concentrated effort towards it, we can achieve a much better life, right? So yeah, that's worth acknowledging for sure, man. So so you have the two summits. What's next? How else do you continue to plan, just do them yearly, or how do you want to go about it?
Yeah. It's going to be yearly, but before that, there is actually a network, the Young and Powerful Leadership Network, that was launched on the award night for the YAP Summit. So
Awesome.
yeah, the Young and Powerful Leadership Network is actually an international network that aims at bringing young leaders around the world together in one platform.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, we lost connection with Thaniel. As everybody could see, Thaniel has such a big heart. I'm so excited to have met him and continue to be in touch with him on Facebook. I will make sure that we supply his credentials in the comments of this episode. So please make sure to reach out to Thaniel. As you can tell, the guy's got big goals to impact lots of people. And so people, you want to keep your eyes on people like him, people who are going after a lot and they're doing it for the right reasons. I think that's important to have people like him in your life, or in your field of vision, because they're the ones that are going to continue to give, and they're the go-givers. They're going to try to do as much as they can to impact people, and you want to be in those people. You want to be attending those kind of people's events. But yeah, thanks Daniel for coming on today. We'll definitely have him on here soon, probably before one of his events, just to build up some momentum going into one. But once again, thanks for watching the Michael Maloney Show. As always, it's a pleasure. Have a great rest of your week. That was another episode of the Michael Maloney Show. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.